right at diagnosis, everyone comes out of everywhere to try to help you. And one of the things that I did in the very beginning was I tried to be this big, strong person. No, I've got it. It's okay. It's all right. Everything's fine. We'll take care of this.
It's very easy to sort of get into that mode, especially given that we both are the type of people that don't necessarily raise our hand and ask for help. Hey, I need help.
They're so overwhelmed that asking for help or even taking help is not the first thing they think of. The first thing that they think of and what they are consumed with is, what can I do for my child?
Neighbors, school friends, and families, they want to do something to help. So parents really should let them help, because they can't do it all. And they may not realize that right at the initial time of diagnosis, but it'll become apparent very shortly.
You're so focused on the cancer, you're focused on your child. You don't have time or the bandwidth to think of grocery shopping or anything like that. And I think for me it was just that sense of there's other people that have my back, and it was a really good feeling, you know, in this storm.
Even your neighbors, you know, as much help as you can get, you know, if they're offering, accept it, because it will make your life easier.
We did have people mowing our lawn. We did have people cooking meals and putting them in a freezer. I didn't have a chest freezer, and I had someone buy us a chest freezer and put it in our garage, and then they filled it up.
To cope, you need to invest in the community around you, whether it's your family, whether it's your church, whether it's your friends from your children's school, your friends from a community group. If they are at your side and they're saying, what can we do? Let them do it. Let them help you walk through this.
I went down to pick up Jaden and Kim after his first chemo treatment when he was first admitted to the hospital. And two of the neighbors had gone around and put up on our next door neighbor and their mailboxes and our mailbox and our trees, yellow ribbons to show support for him.
Because I was able to humble myself and say I needed help, and the community rallied around us. The only reason she's here today is because of people and people that helped us. And so she knows, like I do, we have to help other people. I urge anybody who's just beginning this journey not to be embarrassed by the things that they need to feel good and to feel fresh and to feel human, because inside the hospital it smells different and it feels different, and you can't control what's happening to your child, and you can't control the temperature of the room, and you can't control the light, and you can't control the noise, but you can control your shower. That 10 or 15 minutes, and it's really important. And it may seem silly to someone just hearing that their child's been diagnosed with cancer, but I promise you that shower isn't silly, and take that time.
Definitely make sure that you're taking time for yourself, whether that's a quick coffee break, whether that's a quick walk outside to get some fresh air. Take some time for yourself.
For a parent to be effective as a parent, they need some time away. They need a little break. And so a parent shouldn't feel guilty about if they spend a night at home and there's another family member there with the child. You don't want to set up the situation where the child who's been diagnosed with cancer won't do anything if the mother is not right next to the bed.
I've had a number of families that people were athletes. They were active. The mother or the father was a runner. And when their kiddo was diagnosed, they just completely said, I'm putting that on the back shelf. But that's what makes them feel strong. That's what makes you feel energized to go on. And so when you take that piece out, you're just going to get beat down and beat down and beat down and not be able to be there for your kiddo when you need to be.
If you can, help yourself stay strong and take care of yourself, you're going to do a lot better taking care of them.
Helping siblings deal with this is difficult. Emma, Jaden's sister, was only 6 years old when he was diagnosed, and she knew something was wrong with her brother, but didn't know how serious it was. And we were at the hospital, and it was after his surgery. We had to sit her down and tell her that her brother has cancer. Her biggest question to me was, she looked at me and she said, Mom, is Jaden going to die? I didn't want to lie to her and say, I don't know. And that was the truth. It's like, we were hopeful, we have treatment, we have a good survival rating, but the bottom line is you really don't know. And that was a tough conversation. But it's, I'd say you got to be honest and prepare for the worst and still hope for the best and try and maintain some sense of normal for her and for Jaden too.
I stayed with Adrian in the hospital for 1 month, and I didn't, get to see my 6-month-old. It was really tough.
This is a time when you focus on the child who's sick, the siblings can get lost in this shuffle, and you don't want that to happen. So eventually you have to get to the point where you cut out time to spend with the other siblings individually.
My role in it was obviously keep the lights on, but also was caring for Emma, because there were episodes where Jaden had to be overnight at Children's, and Kim would go with him. I was here holding down the fort, so to speak, getting her on the bus, getting her off the bus, dinner, homework, all of it.
It's more meaningful than just, dividing time. It's for that child, just like you want to focus on the treatment plan and getting your child well. For the siblings, they need to come out well at the end of this too. Having them go to sibling support groups, having them go to sibling camps where they get to talk to peers who have like experiences. We need to be intentional about making sure that the siblings are addressed, because just like we want the kiddo to come out good with cancer, we want the siblings to come out healthy as well.
We scheduled mommy time, and just a day for me and she and I, and then of course there's some counseling involved. School counselors, we made sure they were aware so that they can help her, because she did need to talk to some other people too. Between Emma and Jaden, I think they're very close. I mean, she adores her brother, her big brother.
They always were, but I think this brought them tighter.
Yeah, they're a little, they appreciate each other a little more. Yeah, they still fight like siblings. I mean, it's sometimes I pull my hair out, but they are very close, and they adore each other. They really do.
The diagnosis of a child with cancer or any type of serious life-threatening illness is going to impact a parent's partnership, whether they're married, whether they're in a significant long-term relationship, or even if it's parents that are divorced.
It does put a strain on a marriage. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. We did go to marital counseling. You do, in any stressful situation, you fight. You argue about stuff, or you ignore each other because you're too stressed on your own. You've got your own way of dealing with things. I think it's important to communicate, hey, I need something, because not, all the time in a marriage, it's normal anyway for one person to not, really see the other person has a need and the other person doesn't communicate.
It was definitely stressful. It was hard. We had to just sit on the phone and just talk with each other just to help get each other through it, because she would be exhausted or I would be exhausted at home, and it was just very difficult.
And if your relationship is having difficulties, then you're not going to be at your best and have your energy to put towards your child. And so if working on that and making sure you take time to keep your partnership intact, or at least keep good communication going, then that's going to be important for you.
In order to preserve that relationship, which obviously this is one of the biggest stresses you can imagine for that relationship, you have to cut out time to be together as a husband and wife. And, if it's just having dinner together one night.
Try not to get lost in the entirety of the situation, and try to stay in tune with the other person.
It's really important to at least be intentional about communication and about making sure that you're aware that this type of life-threatening diagnosis could impact your relationship.
It helped us realize that, there's a lot of things that we in life that we may get stressed out about. This completely tops anything.
I strongly agree. It brought us closer as a family. We took for granted the little things, back before he was diagnosed, and we definitely don't now.